major book slump and I need to get out of it. So I thought I would do a video of 3 ways I was going to try and get out of my book slump and get back on top of my Goodreads reading goal. I have spent the whole year ahead of schedule for my Goodreads reading goal, and I've officially gone 2 books behind schedule. And I know it's only 2 books, but I really want to get back on track. I've only been reading maybe 1 or 2 books each month, and normally I will read 15 or more books per month, and that just makes my heart so happy to read that many stories. I was going to try 3 different ways of getting out of this reading slump in this video. Number 1, I was going to read an audiobook or force myself to listen to an audiobook, because I do normally listen to a lot of the books that I'm reading, and that's only because I love to utilize my time as best as I can. So I'll usually put my headphones on and clean the house or go do some chores, run some errands and listen to a book. But at the moment I've been in my music era, so that has not been happening. So I wanted to try the audiobook route again and see if that will help me get out of my slump. The second method I was going to try was reading a fast-paced book, and I thought I would pick a thriller. I haven't picked the book itself yet, we can do that later on in the video, but I do love a thriller and I have a few on my radar that I really would like to read. So we will try that as well, reading a fast-paced book, and hopefully that helps me feel motivated to keep reading. And then the third thing I was going to try was reading a really anticipated book on my list. So because I've not been reading for the last 3 months, there has been so many releases that I haven't read, and it is hurting my heart a little bit. I'm getting so behind. BookTok is popping off with all these amazing reviews, and I keep having to swipe through them so I don't get spoilers, and I just want to be on the bandwagon again, keeping up with everything. So I was going to try read a book that I've been really anticipating. Come along and we will pick the first book together. I'd also just like to disclaim that I have decided to do this on such a whim, hence the state of me right now. I have been out and about today, and I've just decided to go ahead and do this. So in the next clip, it may be a jump scare. Fair warning, it depends on how I'm feeling that day, if I've put in some effort to continue on with this video. Take with that what you will. I will see you in the next clip. It's time to pick the book that we're going to be reading for the audiobook part of this video. And although I do have a few options, there is one that stands out to me more than others, and that is The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. And there are a few reasons why this is calling out to me. 1, it's already on my TBR and I already have the audiobook for it. Huge contributing factor. 2, my sister actually asked me to put it onto my TBR for this month, and she's never led me astray. Every book she recommends me, I usually love. It's usually 4 stars or more. And 3, Rebecca Yarros, I don't think I've rated one of her books less than 4 stars, and I just think I need something like that to be the guiding light for me in this slump journey. So with that said, got my headphones ready to go, so let's get listening. So I thought I'd drop in and talk about my thoughts on The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, which is the audiobook I'm listening to at the moment, which you probably already know because you've literally seen that clip like a few seconds ago, and I filmed it a few days ago. But I'm about halfway, almost 75% through, and I am loving it. I absolutely, sorry about this too, hang on. Okay, that's a bit better. I absolutely love the jump backs between Scarlett and his name has left my brain right now. I want to say George, but I don't think it's George. Anyway, Scarlett and her mans, I just love their love story. I think because it's set in the war times, I'm extra obsessed with it because I love books. I love historical fiction set in the war for some reason. I just do. I really love then flashing forward to her granddaughter and getting to know a bit more about her and unpacking that with the author and that whole love story. Like, it's getting really, really good now, and I think I'll finish it today because I'm actually loving it. Rebecca Yarros does it again. I just took my headphones off to film this little clip. Then I will be getting back into that, so I might be touching them with you later once I finish this book. I'm just so excited. And oh my gosh, the last Rebecca Yarros book I read that wasn't Fourth Wing series, there was a twist, and now I'm like, is that her thing to have a twist? Because if it is, I have no predictions at all. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ugh. Coffee saved me from this day. I'm also working right now, so I'll be listening while I work because I love to min-max my time. Just millennial things. Is that a millennial trait? I'm technically actually not a millennial. I'm technically on the cusp of Gen Z, but I identify as a millennial. I can't wait to keep Pinteresting. I can't wait to keep pinning my board for this, and I'm hoping that I can do a little scrolly at the end when I'm talking about my final thoughts. You can see the vibes I was feeling while I was reading this book. Okay, so it's time to pick the thriller for this video, and I'm tossing up between two books. I really want to read The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which according to Goodreads, in summary, it seems to be a wedding gone wrong. Someone, I'm assuming, ends up dead, because isn't that most thrillers? It's kind of remote island, wedding gone bad, maybe someone gets killed. I don't really like to read too much into thrillers before I go into them because I like to be surprised, and I'm kind of good at predicting how books end, especially thrillers. It's saying luxury parties, wedding gone wrong, wedding for a magazine, and it seems to be on a remote location according to the cover. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. And then the other one I've had on my list for so long, my sister has been telling me to read this book for years now, and I just haven't got around to it. Normally when she recommends me a book, it is top tier. So The Butterfly Garden is more of a kidnapping situation. The gist of it is this guy kidnaps all these women and keeps them in a secluded area called the Butterfly Garden or the Garden. But again, I don't want to get too into it because I want to read it and get into it that way. It sounds like the women have been saved and the FBI is interviewing one of them, and she's got more secrets than just the gardens. It really comes down to if I want to go for more the whodunit or if I want to go for kidnapper creepy. I think I am feeling a bit more kidnapper creepy. I think I'll get through it quicker. I think I'll be more intrigued by it to start off with. So I'm gonna go with The Butterfly Garden. I'm gonna read it on my Kindle. I prefer to read on my Kindle. I read way faster, which will help with my book slump anyway. So I'll touch in on my thoughts when I have them. Let's get started. The lighting's really bad. I didn't really want to move from the couch because I'm quite cozy. Anyway, I'm about 10% through so far, and one thing I will say is I'm really struggling with the fact that there's absolutely no chapters so far, and at the bottom of my Kindle it says next chapter in 1 hour 12 minutes. And that's just quite concerning to me. We've had a very small snippet of what it's been like in the garden, and now we're mainly learning about our main character's life before the garden, and I don't actually know her name. I don't know if we're supposed to know her name. I'm enjoying it so far. I've whizzed through the first 10%. I'll keep you posted on how I go with the rest of it. Okay. Excuse my face. I just woke up, and also if you can hear some noise in the background, it's just one of the machines in the kitchen. I just wanted to do a little update. I am also, excuse my voice. I am a little bit sick. I've made it to 22%. I read another 30 minutes before I got out of bed this morning and I'm actually loving it. I was just sitting here trying to work and I keep thinking about it and I just want to know. So I think this one is working. I believe I will be getting out of my book slump if this book continues to be riveting and suspenseful. It's kind of, without spoiling too much, it's kind of the dynamic of she is getting interviewed by the FBI and it flips between her telling her story and the FBI questioning her. So it's a really interesting dynamic and it keeps you wanting to know more and more and more about her story and get to the FBI side of it where they're asking the questions. I'm so sorry. Maybe I shouldn't do this clip. Anyway, I just want to show a little update on that and just say I'm really enjoying it and yeah. Apologies if you can hear the rain or if you can't hear me very well. It is bucketing down outside. But I wanted to check in because I have finished The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. It really gripped me in the beginning. Towards the middle it kind of got a little bit boring or repetitive, maybe is a better word. So I didn't lose interest, but it kind of petered out a little bit. I still finished the book within a few days of starting it, which was really good. And the ending, I don't want to give too much away obviously. There was a twist at the end which I didn't expect but also wasn't thrilled about, I guess. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened. It was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. I feel neither here nor there about it at the moment. I finished it maybe 2 days ago, so I still want to have a little think about it and I'll come back at the end with my final rating. The next thing I'm going to do is pick my most anticipated read or an anticipated read to help me get out of the slump. I kind of have 3 options to pick from. The first option is Play Along by Liz Tomford, which I absolutely loved. The 3rd book in that series, like 5 stars. Think about it all the time, loved it. The next one is Reckless by Lauren Roberts and something about this terrifies me, so I've not done it yet. It's so silly, like I really want to read it. I loved Powerless, but for some reason I just haven't picked it up yet. So that's my second option. My third option is Bright Lights and Summer Nights by Kat Singleton, which is I think the 3rd book in that series as well, and I freaking loved the first 2. I'm really tossing up, I think more so between Play Along and Bright Lights and Summer Nights, just because Reckless scares me a little bit too much at the moment. Play Along, now that I think about it, is probably upwards of 500 pages knowing Liz Tomford. Let's pick Bright Lights and Summer Nights by Kat Singleton. I also think it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is a win for me. So yeah, I'll get that on my Kindle and then read it. And yeah, let's do that one. I'm actually so excited. Cute meet cute to be exact. I've officially finished all the books for this video and I wanted to give my final ratings, final thoughts on all of them, so let's get into it. The audiobook I read was The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I ended up rating this book 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was really cool that we got almost 2 love stories because we're following Scarlett and Jameson by getting an insight to their love story through letters that they wrote to each other during the war, which is where they fell in love. And then we flash forward or back forward to Scarlett's granddaughter Georgia, who is trying to hire an author to write the ending of her grandmother's memoir. Georgia hires Noah, who is known for not writing happy endings, and they're going through this whole journey of trying to do her grandmother justice. Noah is conflicted because all of Scarlett's previous books had happy endings, and he's trying to get to the bottom of why Georgia wants a non-happy ending written for her grandmother, even though potentially it was not a happy ending. It's quite the journey. I particularly love Scarlett and Jameson's story. I just love books set in the war, and their love story was real and raw and heartbreaking and lovely. I particularly loved listening to this as an audiobook. I think it added a lot of value to my reading experience because the voice actors were so good on this particular audiobook I listened to. Rebecca Yarros did it again. She twisted. She added a twist, which you saw my reaction to, and I did not see that coming at all. I don't think I was trying to predict a twist anyway, but I was like, it shook me. It actually shook me. I keep thinking about this book a lot. I think 4 stars is a good solid rating, and I really want to keep reading all the other books that Rebecca Yarros has written prior to Fourth Wing. The next book we read in this video was a fast-paced book, which I picked the thriller The Butterfly Garden. This book was a whirlwind. I ended up rating it 3 stars. It had a really solid start. I was gripped from the beginning. I needed to keep reading. There was an amazing dynamic because the girls have already been saved at the beginning of the book, and then you're in the FBI interviewing room with one of the girls and the FBI, and you're flicking between the FBI questioning the girl, but she answers as if it's happening right there, so you kind of flash back to her answering the question, and she's very vague in all of her answers, so you kind of have to like be a detective yourself and pick out the bits and pieces that she's saying to get the underlying answer for the question that the FBI have asked. So it's very twisty and turny, and there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on that's absolutely cooked. And I'm on the fence of whether I think A, it's realistic, or B, it's so unrealistic that it makes it good. But I do think there could be some crazy out there who would do these things. I think 3 stars is where I will sit on this rating, and it started really well, kind of petered out towards the middle, got a bit slower, a little bit repetitive, and then the ending, I don't know how to feel about it. There was a twist at the end, which I did not predict, but I also think I didn't care about it either. I did not care about the twist at the end. It wasn't like, gobsmacked, you know? It's just a little bit of a hard one for me. I loved the concept, as I said, but it just was a little bit meh of a read for me. The last book I read for this video was one of my most anticipated reads, or a new release, which I picked Bright Lights and Summer Nights. Oh, this book. I was smiling, I was giggling, I was kicking my feet. I freaking loved it. I fell in love with Kat Singleton last year, the author, and I read every single book, which granted was maybe 3 or 4, and ever since then I read them as they come out. I freaking love them. I rated this book 4 stars. This book is about a girl named Emma in her mid-20s who is on a self-discovery journey, and she runs off to the Hamptons for the summer and decides to film herself trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life, basically. And on night 1, she runs into Preston, who is a football player. He's in his mid-30s, I believe, so he's a little bit older, and they end up fake dating. And she then tags along with him on all of the family events because it's his little sister's wedding week. And it is the cutest story. I love the setting of it. I love that it's in the Hamptons. It was so vibey to read, and I think it would be the perfect book to read in the summer. It's winter here in New Zealand, but I'll take it. I got to escape a little bit and go to the Hamptons. They do lots of fun activities together, and then they're just so freaking cute. I found Emma really relatable because I myself am also in my mid-20s, still trying to figure it out. There needs to be more stories like that. Not everyone has it together. I just really enjoyed this book. Thanks for watching this video. I'm so glad you came along with me to get out of a book slump. Do I think it worked? I would say so. I think more so what worked is me filming this video. It kept me motivated, and I have actually read quite a few more books since filming this, so maybe it did work. It got me excited again for reading, and I really hope I can smash out my August TBR, which has some really exciting books on there that I'm looking forward to reading. I want to keep filming some videos to keep me motivated, and hopefully you enjoy hearing my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about these books. So yeah, that's a wrap. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!